husband is literally snoring within like minutes. He's asleep. How do you go to sleep that fast? How do you go to sleep that fast? Hey guys, it's Becky. Welcome to my channel. Today I have what should be a fairly quick video, but it occurred to me the other day. I was thinking, moms do not get enough sleep. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree that moms do not get enough sleep. I feel like even if you don't have young kids, you tend to think that only people with babies and toddlers don't get enough sleep, and that once your kids get older, it's easy and you get your sleep routine back to normal. And I don't think you ever really do. Even if they go to bed, you know, at a decent time on their own, it's still like the worry and the exhaustion from the day and like trying to think of what needs to be done. It can still keep you from sleeping even if your kids are not babies. So I was trying to think of like the 3 best tips that I could share with you guys for how to get a better night's sleep. And I think I'm the perfect person to talk about this to you because I was the type of person who never went to sleep. I would wait until my husband went to bed at night, usually around 11, before I would go back and start doing work in my office. I would be working on YouTube videos, I'd be paying bills, whatever I did. I would do that until like 2 or 3 in the morning every single night. Well, then the morning would come and I would be like completely drained because my oldest had to get up for school. At that time, she was public school, so we had to get up at like 6 o'clock with her, and I just did that for a long time before it really started to take a toll on my physical health and my mental health. I had started to see a doctor. I'd gone to a neurologist, and he was like, you've got to get more sleep. You cannot just stay up all night like that every night and then get up in the morning and go all day long, you know, with 2 kids and then do it again the next day. So I really had to make my health a priority. And for me, there was a couple things that I implemented over the course of, you know, that amount of time, but really over the course of the last 8 or 9 years that have really helped. Now, are there times when I still can't sleep? Yes. Does it take me a long time to fall asleep still sometimes? Yes. It is definitely a struggle, but there are 3 things in particular that have made a huge difference in not only how I feel during the day, but how well I sleep at night. The first thing is I started keeping my phone out of my room at nighttime. Like everybody else, I would charge my phone in my room next to my bed. I would use my phone as an alarm. I would use it as a sound machine, or I would listen to, you know, relaxing music at night or whatever. That's what I did, and that's what most people do. And having my phone in my room was an awful thing, because if I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or just randomly, I would get on my phone. Then I would get sucked into my phone and be on my phone. When I get up in the morning, first thing I would do, reach over and grab my phone. Well, then I would spend way too much time checking emails, looking to see what happened on Instagram overnight, you know, just stuff like that. It was such a bad thing to have in my room. It really did affect my sleep. It also affected my mental state because I was just being overstimulated, or I would see something that really upset me, or I would see something I needed to do the next day, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, I've got to do that now, and I could not relax. So I think it was at the end of 2020, I stopped keeping my phone in my room. I charge it downstairs now. I did have to find other methods for an alarm clock. I actually went and bought an alarm clock, like an actual alarm clock, which I do love, by the way. It came from Amazon. And I also bought a sound machine so that because I can't sleep in silence, so I do have to have some type of something. So I have that, and I keep my phone out of my room, and it has made a huge difference in how quickly I go to sleep, how well I sleep, how long I'm up at night. Even if I go to the bathroom, I go right back to bed. I don't get on my phone and like do something. And then also how early I get up and how I'm like not just laying around in bed for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, goofing off my phone. So that was a huge thing that really helped me to get more and better sleep. Also, exercise has been a huge part of my life these last 9 years or so, and I think it has a lot to do with mental health also, but it does help me to sleep better at night. And I can, even during the week, if I don't work out 7 days a week, it's usually like, lately it's been 3 to 5, but used to it was always consistently 5. And on those 2 days that I didn't work out, I could always tell and feel a difference in my tiredness at night when I hadn't worked out. So even though exercise may give you some energy and motivation during the day, I think it also has the opposite effect at nighttime. You're more tired and you're ready to go to bed. So if you exercise for no other reason than the fact that you would like to get a better night's sleep, give it a try and see if it helps. Of course, exercise has tons of other benefits at the same time. So it's, you know, you're gonna get tons of different positive things that come from that. But even if you're only exercising during the day to get better sleep at night, it's well worth your time. It could be a brisk walk. You could do something, you know, with a YouTube video, lifting weights, whatever type of exercise you like to do. I highly encourage you, give it a try for 2 weeks and see if you don't sleep better on the days that you work out. I think you'll find that you do. And my third tip for how to get a better night's sleep as a tired and exhausted mom is to make your to-do list for the next day the night before. I know a lot of people will say, you know, get up in the morning and make your to-do list, but if you're like me, that is not the best way to do it, especially if you're talking about in regard to falling asleep, because I'm the type of person that constantly keeps a roll in my brain of what I need to do. I gotta do this, I can't forget that, I've gotta get this thing at the store, I've gotta tell this to so-and-so, I've gotta make that appointment, I've gotta cancel that appointment. All of that stuff is rolling around in my head literally 24/7. So if I wait till the morning to actually write that down and prioritize it in my day and during the week, I can't sleep as well because I'm trying to make sure I don't forget that stuff. So if I write it down the night before, I am able to get it out of my brain. I know I'm not gonna forget it because it's right there. And I can hit the ground running the next day. I already know what my plan is. I already know where I need to go. I already know what phone calls I need to make or what bills need to be paid. I'm not waiting till the morning to figure that out. I know it because I did it the night before. And for me, that really helps me to sleep better because I know I'm not gonna forget something. So if you're the type of person who makes a to-do list in the morning and you're finding yourself like trying to remember too many different things, you can't turn your brain off at night, try making your to-do list for the next day at night. Even if you have to change a couple things maybe here and there during the day as, you know, the course of the day goes on, you still have that framework. You still have those high priority items written down, those main things you need to get done. And you can get that out of your brain and not have to think about it. So highly encourage you to make a to-do list the night before, especially if you're having trouble sleeping because you're trying to think of all the things that you need to remember. Those are my 3 best tips for how to get a better night's sleep. A couple little bonus items I thought I would throw in here that are kind of silly, but they do help me. I do shower at night, so I think that is better because I feel cleaner and more refreshed and relaxed. Also, I try to make sure I'm not hungry when I go to bed, because if you're laying there starving, then you can't go to sleep because you're just thinking about food the whole time. Sometimes when I really can't sleep, it helps me to turn upside down in the bed. I don't know why, it's really weird. It's always done that for me. I would just turn upside down and like get a blanket and cover up upside down. That usually helps me. And also I do have issues with anxiety. So as much as I do all these things and try to help myself get a better night's sleep, I just really have a hard time, especially at night, with anxious thoughts. And so what I will do when that's being particularly troublesome to me is I will play the every detail game with myself. And I'll think in my mind every detail that I can think of whatever it is. A lot of times I will do every detail of the house that I grew up in, and I'll close my eyes and I literally go through the entire house, room by room, wall by wall, what was on the wall, what the knobs of the kitchen counters looked like, you know, what was over here, where was this arranged, what did my room look like, what was the carpet. Every little detail that I can think about that house, or about a certain person, or about a certain event. And that usually helps me. I will usually fall asleep. I don't remember ever really getting to the end of doing that, so that must mean I'm falling asleep when I do that. So that really helps me sometimes. And also, there was a point when my anxiety was so bad that I couldn't even say my prayers at night, because saying my prayers would make me think about things more that I was worried about, and I couldn't sleep. And I used to feel bad because I would think, I'm not saying my prayers at night, and that made me feel bad. But 2 different things, you know, alternatives to that is, nobody says that you have to just say your prayers at night. You can do your main prayer time in the morning, in the middle of the day, you know, whenever you have other pockets of time. It doesn't have to be at night. Also, when I wanted to say something to God, but I was really being bothered by something and I just couldn't get into it in a prayer at nighttime, I would pray and say, God, you know what I need. You know what I want. You know what I hope for. Please give me peace and help me to go to sleep, and leave it at that. And of course say things that I'm thankful for, but I wouldn't get into any of the details of stuff that I was really worried about in prayer at nighttime, because it used to keep me awake. So that really helps. So those are just some kind of bonus things that I have done or still continue to do in various, you know, sometimes it's more necessary than others, But those are all things that have helped me. So I hope they'll be helpful to you. I think in general, moms just have a hard time sleeping. Even when you're pregnant, of course, you have a hard time sleeping for a different reason. And then once the babies are born, you have, you know, a tiny newborn, and then you have toddlers, but they never really stop needing you. There's never really a time when you're not still worried about something when it is in regard to your kids, you know, finding the right person, or mistakes they're making, or choices that they have coming down the road for them, or, you know, just everything. So it never really gets any easier as a mom. It's just different. There's different concerns, but they're still concerns. So I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you have some tips for getting a better night's sleep. Because even though I do all these things, and even though all these things have helped, I still struggle. And sometimes I'm laying in bed at night and I'm, you know, going through prayers and thinking about this or that, and my husband is literally snoring within like minutes. He's asleep. How do you go to sleep that fast? How do you go to sleep that fast? Even if I had not a care in the world, I don't think I could fall asleep that fast. I mean, he's ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, he's asleep already. It's really annoying that he just is not apparently burdened by anything and doesn't have any issue going to sleep at all. But for people like me, it is a definite struggle, and I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.